I know it's probably early in the process after last night, but what has impressed you about Columbus and their run that they've been on, and kind of what challenges do they present for tomorrow?
Well, the challenges they present is they're a high-octane offensive team. They can score goals. They got some defensemen, specifically where Werenski, Provorov, they can get involved. So you have to be returning to your own end and sorting out coverages quickly off the rush. You got to get numbers back, work above the puck. And they've got some young kids that are really excelling. And Monahan goes out, he's been a good player for them, and they don't miss a beat. So that tells me they believe in one another. And some of their players in that locker room are able to handle the responsibility that you're going to get when, a 20-minute guy goes out. So, they're coached to play hard. I know Dean, the way he coached in Minnesota, they're going to defend hard. Now, they're relying on their goaltenders because they're still young at certain positions, so they're going to give up stuff. But at the end of the day, they're right there fighting for a playoff spot. And it's not by accident. We're 50 games in, right? So that's the reality of what we're facing. Now, they do have the one odd thing about it is their home record versus their road record is completely flipped. So why that is it matchup situations. They're young guys that on the road don't handle late in game stuff. I don't know that, it's our first time seeing them. So, but we better be ready to defend because they can score goals.
He's not like a Quinn Hughes, who's a fast defenseman, or he's not like one of those typical fast defensemen. Or what makes Werenski so dangerous when he gets the puck?
Well, he's not as fast. He doesn't look as fast, but trust me, he's got a bit of jack in him. Like once he's moving, you're not catching him. So, and he's a straight up skater, strong guy, and he's got a real good nose for when to join the rush. And his shot is elite, right? He can shoot the puck well, in stride, finds holes. So. He's a big enough guy. He's not an easy guy to knock off the puck. So I played a playoff series against him years ago, right, with Boston. I know he can be dangerous. He was with Seth Jones back there. They're a really good partnership. Played against top lines, killed penalties. He's an all-around guy. He just maybe being in Columbus, you don't hear as much about him. I hate to say that, but maybe that's a little bit of why he doesn't get the notoriety others do, but he is selected for Team USA, and I'm sure he'll be at the Olympics, and he's a really good hockey player.
I know there's a handful of games left before the Four Nations tournament comes up, but talk a little bit about the anticipation, and excitement, coming up to coach. And I guess, do you have any memories of watching Team Canada playing or coaching for Team Canada?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to balance both, but we are. The coaches, Coop, the head coach, has Zoom with us every 10 days or so. So we're kind of dialed into our area, doing a little work, watching players in our team that are on other teams in the league. And so we've compiled that. As for the memories, 72 Canada-Russia series, for sure. I was 7 years old. And watching it, I was going to a French school in Ottawa at the time, and they put the last game on, Paul Henderson, and scoring I think it was the game-deciding goal in Game 8. It was an odd series back then, 4 in Canada, 4 in Soviet Union. So I represented Canada at the World Juniors in '84. We didn't win, so that was a bummer, but it was a great experience when you play for your country. So I think what will happen is once you're there and you walk into the hotel meeting room for the first time in the locker room and you see Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid, like it's going to kick in, right? And the Canadian flag for me. And USA, it'll be, Jack's going to walk in, and there's going to be Austin Matthews. Now, he's buddies with them, but, now it's real, right? And you get on the ice. So I think that's when it'll really hit home. Once you're there in the environment, it's almost like playoff hockey, right? You have the regular season. It's a grind. You get to the playoffs. It's playoffs. You're excited. You got adrenaline because it's playoffs. And so I think it'll be a little bit of that excitement once you're there.
Have you heard from the league on anything, if they're going to say anything about Mark and the tripping call last night, or is that something?
I haven't heard nothing. I don't anticipate anything. I kind of addressed it last night. I think it was an unfortunate situation, and Mark addressed it. So like I said, I don't think anything will come of that. Like I said last night, hopefully Heiskin is not injured long term. He's a good player for them, and I think it was just an unfortunate sequence of events.
Since we won't see you, we got a home game tomorrow, but you're gone all next week. Might as well get this out of the way. Who and why is winning the Super Bowl this year?
Dallas. I got Dallas.
Say Detroit.
I'm going to take Kansas City. I think they're the better team. Plain and simple. They've been there. They find ways to win these games. All year, I think people have doubted them, whether they could do it in the playoffs. They're winning close games. Here they are. Again, win another close one last week, so that's why.
When you're a coach of a professional team, even in a different league, and you see the outside noise and there are questionable calls, do you empathize with that and say, yeah, what's, you know?
I yell at the TV like everyone else, right? I'm a fan, and some coaches contain it well, and some don't, right? And that's the challenge in my job, right? Especially in a high, you get into the playoffs, into the finals, you've got to keep your composure. So I'm always impressed with the guys that can. I always like when the camera cuts back and then they're yelling at them. They go back to the ref, to the guy who was on the sideline who had nothing to do with the call, probably, because he's always like, I know, like but like pass interference, right? Those are the tough ones. Those are subjective. That really kind of like, to me, it's like, oh, tough one, right? The spot the other day with Buffalo, like, I don't know, I watched it. Did someone mention that, not to get off topic, they're maybe going to put a chip in the football because you got, especially with that play now that Philadelphia started, the tush push or whatever, like there's just a massive humanity. How can you tell almost like a line, that they're watching from the sides and all these people are coming together? How can you get that spot right every time, right? Without really, I guess you'd have to review it or find a way to review those in the last 2 minutes maybe. That's just my 2 cents on that, because I don't know that you can blame whatever they are, the line, they call it the field. I don't know all the positions of the NFL officials, but that guy marking the ball, I don't know, man. It'd be tough to get it right. Exact.